I don't know about you guys, but now that the sunshine is out, it is springtime, the weather's feeling nicer, I genuinely feel like a whole new human. Like, I feel like I'm getting my personality back, and all that I'm doing is just getting slightly more sunshine, and it makes the biggest difference on my personality, on my mood, and more specifically on how I view myself and just the overall way that I perceive the world, but also myself and my ability to have a positive attitude. So today, I want to talk about how seasonal depression genuinely affects our mood so much. What is it? Seasonal affective disorder? Let me look it up. That, I feel like everyone has a little bit of that in their lives, but yeah, seasonal affective disorder is a type of depression occurring annually, usually during fall and winter due to reduced sunlight causing low energy, irritability, and sleep issues. I like I feel like every single person has that. I mean, the sunshine affects our mood and our energy levels so crazily much, and that's what I want to talk about today. I have like a bullet point list of all of the different things I want to talk about, including what happens in our minds and our bodies during the winter, the fall, the spring, and why things feel so different when it's spring. Like, spring genuinely makes me feel like a whole new person, and I just feel lighter, I feel more fun, and I feel like I am waking up from a really long and weird emotional hibernation. Like, it just feels like all winter I've not really let myself fully feel things, and it might be because I was just too exhausted to do so. My body was trying to save energy and just not let my mind fully process the emotions that I was feeling. But here is my little section about what happens to you during winter. With less sunlight, our bodies go into like low power mode, and our brain produces more melatonin, which is the sleep hormone, as we know, and this makes us feel tired and sluggish. I actually did not know that until I was gathering information for this podcast, that during the winter our brain literally produces more melatonin, and I just think that that's like, it's crazy. And at the same time, serotonin drops, and we know serotonin is the feel-good hormone. It's the happy hormone. We make jokes about like shopping gives me a serotonin rush or whatever. And then our internal clock, our circadian rhythm, gets thrown off because it relies on sunlight to stay balanced, and that's why daylight savings feels really weird and feels like it affects your mood and mental health as well, because of that circadian rhythm, our internal clock, that getting thrown off is like, it's something that we don't have to put effort into. Our body naturally does it for itself, but we don't realize how big of a difference it makes until it gets thrown off. So during the winter time, like, our bodies are trying to deal with a whole new routine, even if your routine hasn't changed, and the only thing has changed is the weather and the sunlight. Your body and your mind are trying to match up to that. And this is sounding a lot like just the daily hormones that women go through day to day, and that is a podcast I would be willing to do as well, is because I would like to learn more about this, is the female hormones and how they work. I just think it's so crazy that we have a whole entire month long cycle and it takes that long for our hormones to reset. And then throughout the month, we are just constantly fluctuating, whereas men just have a daily cycle and they don't deal with the kinds of fluctuations for their whole lives and changing men's hormones do not change every single day, and women's hormones do. And that's a whole nother thing I would like to talk about and just learn more about. But it kind of angers me. I'm just like, why? Like, you don't have to carry a baby. You don't have to have periods. You don't have to go through child labor. And you have stable hormones that don't change every single day. Like, hello? And then we don't even get to pick our struggles. We just have them. But enough of that for now, because I will go on a whole tangent. But anywho, I'm saying I feel like seasonal affective disorder, or just seasonal depression, affects women more than men, because it is change on top of a change that we are already constantly having internally with our hormones as a woman. And even if you don't have it to the extent of seasonal affective disorder, most people still feel lower energy, less motivation, more isolation, and more brain fog during the winter months. It happens to everyone, but some people just have it a lot worse. I personally have noticed it's gotten worse with age, and I don't know if that's just me. I didn't go and research into that. But when spring arrives, it's a lovely time. At first, feels like it's dragging, because you're like, okay, we're supposed to be in spring, but it's raining every single day, which is part of spring, but like, where's the sunshine? And then it just kind of hits you. So when spring shows up and that happens, our brain basically goes, oh, we're alive again. Like how animals go out of hibernation. How do they know to come out of hibernation and be like, ooh, we can live our life again? When the sunshine starts to come out. Like, it's kind of crazy. Like, we are so civilized and we live in such a digital age, but at the core of everything, we are still primal. Like, the way that our brains work are still so primal. And I think that's something that we need to remind ourselves in order to understand mental health on like a very realistic and effective manner. We have our primal instincts still. And this is just one thing that shows that is when spring comes around, our bodies literally leave that fight or flight, or it loosens up a bit, and we are like, okay, we are okay to go back out in the world now. We are okay to socialize again, to be productive again, to start going on walks again, to start cooking healthier meals again. Longer days and more sunlight trigger real chemical shifts in our brains because of the vitamins that the sun gives off and just what the UV and weather does to our hormones in our bodies. When serotonin increases from the sun being out, it boosts your mood, your confidence, your energy. That's why you just may be feeling more like a go-getter once the weather is hotter and it's more sunny out. It's easier. It's way easier to just go outside and do whatever and just feel more happy because of the sunshine. And that motivation, like that kickstart, gives you confidence and energy. And it's like a lot of people become less caffeine reliant when it becomes spring and summer as well, because it's like a natural caffeine almost. Melatonin decreases when the sunshine comes up, which what we found out earlier is that serotonin decreases when melatonin increases. So now we're having the opposite. So now you are able to feel more awake and more alert in your day-to-day life, and your circadian rhythm resets. You get better sleep and you wake up clear-minded, less fog in the brain. Obviously, this changes for everyone. It also depends if you're getting proper sleep, if your sleep circumstances are good. But more exposure to natural light literally signals your brain to be more active and engaged with the world. And the light is literally sunlight is like a green light for humans to go out of their hole, out of their hiding, and start doing the things that we didn't do during the winter. That's why spring cleaning is such a big thing. No one wants to use the energy to clean and do a deep clear out cleaning during the winter time because we're all low energy. So if you're like me, I already feel my emotions like pretty deeply and pretty intensely. And again, I don't know if that's because I'm a woman. I don't know if that's just my character of who I am, how I grew up. It's a little bit of everything. But when it comes to the seasons, that is really no different. So going into spring, I feel very reborn. Like, it's a very deep thing for me, and like I said earlier in this episode, if it gets deeper and deeper every time, and I just honestly totally feel reborn when it comes to the springtime. And I looked up specifically that word. Why do I feel reborn when it becomes spring and the sun starts coming out? And this is just why spring is such a beautiful metaphor, because it is physical changes going on, but also internal changes going on that you can't really see, you just feel. And it happens gradually, the same way that spring gradually just gets more beautiful and better and turns into bright, happy summer. So, okay, why do you feel reborn? That new person feeling is biology and psychology. Your dopamine and motivation come back. You suddenly want to do things again and clean your space. Like I said, spring cleaning, go outside, talk to people, socialize again. Your brain associates spring with renewal. This is the way that it has been conditioned for us ever since we were kids, reading books about the seasons, but also just how it straight up makes us feel, because we sit through the whole winter watching the outdoors get depressing and dull, and watching people hide more and more inside, and watch it get colder and colder, and for like too cold for us to go outside. And then we enter this new era where it's like everyone wants to be outside. Humans are wired to respond to environmental cues. So flowers blooming, warmth, and color are all signals for growth and survival, because we, in the wintertime, a lot of people refer to it as being in survival mode. Like, we're not really living, we're just surviving. And once we come out of that and we go into this renewal spring era, it all comes together, and it reminds us that we don't have to simply survive, we can live. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And something I read was you're coming out of a contrast period. I liked that because it when you look back at it, it really does feel like a contrast after months of feeling low. Even these small mood changes feel huge, or these small little boosts in emotion feels huge. And that's what inspired me to make this episode today because like now it's been about a week of like straight good weather, and before it was like a week and then like a freezing week and then a week of sunshine and then a freezing week, and now it's been, sorry, I meant to say like 2 weeks of just good weather, and it makes the hugest difference ever. And I remember like in the beginning of it being like, oh, I hope this doesn't go away, and then it would go away and then it would come back, and then that allowed me to understand the difference that it really, really did make on my mood and my just doing things. Like during those days, me and my friends hung out more. I'm taking a sip of water. I'll ASMR it. Anywho, me and my friends hung out more. We went on walks outside. Me and my boyfriend went on walks outside. We worked out every day. I went to class more. I went grocery shopping more. I ate out less. I wore cute clothes every single day. I put on an outfit every day. Like, it made such a difference. And so let's talk more about the psychological layers of this, and then I want to wrap it up with how this, like, how awesome would it be if we could have this every single week of the year, every single day of the year. But I want to wrap this up with how you don't know what you have until it's gone, and I think it's important that we don't live our lives fully like basking in sunshine, even though that would be amazing. But we'll get to that in a second, okay? So there's also something really interesting happening mentally aside from the serotonin boosts and the dopamine boosts. But when you spend more time outside, it actually reduces stress hormones like cortisol, which is a really interesting one because I feel like people are really fixated on cortisol. Drink this drink, and your cortisol levels will go down. You'll look so much skinnier. You'll be so much less bloated, blah, 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 blah. But to me, cortisol really happens from within and less of, obviously, like if you're eating fast food every single day, you probably have crazy cortisol. But like more so to me about being mindful, reducing stress, that's what cortisol really means to me. And spending time outdoors actually is like one of the best ways to lower your cortisol. And I just think that's really interesting because that just makes me think about how different the mental healths of people who live in different places are. Like people who experience more sunshine throughout the years, or people who have very outdoorsy environments, more rural environments, less away from the city, or even in the city where you have to walk everywhere and get more sunshine. Like our lifestyles are just all so vastly different, but the sun and outdoors affect our lifestyles so much, but we all are very conditioned to live these indoor office jobs, indoor, no sunshine lives. And this is a much deeper thing, but it just feels like the system of our government or our social system or hierarchies are trying to rob us of our full potential, of our best mental and physical well-beings. Because if environments were constructed a long time ago, and different what's the word, like, not topics, but different structures were built based upon what is truly the best for us as a species of human, I feel like our lives would be very different, and we wouldn't have ruined a lot of things for like the human race as a whole, because like I was saying earlier, we're much more primal than we remember, and we've just totally lost touch of that and need to remember the fact that we have basic needs that animals have, such as routine, sunlight, safe environments, stimulating but not overstimulating environments, our internal clock, our hormones that we cannot decide. We have all of these aspects that we forget about in our day-to-day human lives. And yeah, that is the more biological part of it. And I'm not a big science buff, but I do just find it really interesting that we as humans forget, like, we're a species. Like, we don't know everything, and there's millions and millions and millions of years of evolution within us that have created every small detail about us. Like, there's a reason we have hair on our head, and there's a reason for everything, a reason why you're built the way that you are built, a reason that we have fingers, a reason that we have hormones, and the reason behind a lot of the things in our lives and a lot of our decisions and emotions are within us and our hormones. And it's just not something that we talk about, but we spend so much time getting caught up in the systems of the world or the government or whatever kind of organizations, or just humanity as a whole, and we forget that within us we have a whole entire system. We have so many hormones, we have our circadian rhythm, we have our internal clock. Like I said, we have a heart beating within us and blood pumping through our veins, and those are the things that we overlook, number one, to be grateful for, but number two, to take care of. And I feel like those are the things that need to be prioritized over the go, work, exhausting lifestyle that is pushed upon us. So yes, that was that was almost like a whole nother conversation. But spring, I love you. I love spring so much. And the weather doesn't just change in the spring. Spring doesn't just change the way that it looks outside and it feels outside, but it literally changes our brain chemistry. And I just think that that's so crazy and so cool. And if you were going through a really hard time this winter, I just want you to know you are not alone, and it's not your fault, and there's nothing wrong with you. You're literally just a human, and you are doing the best given the circumstances that you are in. And I'm super proud of you, and I hope that you have other people in your life who can express that they are proud of you. And if you don't, that's why I'm here, and I am super proud of you for just pushing through. If you feel like you're on that survival mode during the winter time and you are feeling like you're coming out of it, like, F yes. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you, and you are not alone at all. Like, never think that you are alone, because you are not. These things are really overlooked, and they really affect our lives, like, so much. And I just want to open up a conversation space to talk about that, because I think it's really important. Because after months of low light and low energy, your body is literally waking back up and coming back. That's why you might feel so back. Like, I know I've been like, I'm so back. Like, your body is literally waking up. Like, you are back. Take advantage of that new person feeling. That's your serotonin rising, your melatonin falling, and your mind finally coming out of survival mode. So take initiative and make the most of it. And yeah, I hope you guys can go into this new season just feeling like a new you, the best you, and make some changes in your life. Have fun with it. Take risks, because this isn't your only spring. This isn't your only time where you will be so back. You can make and reinvent yourself again whenever you want to. And I think that we were given the seasons for a reason, because life comes and goes in seasons. We all have seasons of our lives. Life is ever changing, and the weather changes with us. And biologically, our melatonin rises and our serotonin goes down for a reason, to keep us alive during the winter time, because of evolution and the way that humans used to have to survive. And while we're not in those times anymore, I guess it does make sense. Like, it's just trying to keep our bodies warm and alive and full during the winter time. So give yourself some grace. Remind yourself it's just your body doing its job. If it wasn't doing that, there might have been something wrong. It's good that your body's doing its job, but sometimes our bodies and our minds tussle with each other a little bit, and the only way to get them to come back and feel symmetrical and aligned between the two is to remind yourself that they are there to work together with both the same job, and that job being helping you and keeping you alive and well. So hug yourself, thank yourself, tell yourself you love yourself, and yeah, I love you guys so much. And that's everything that I have to say today about SAD, seasonal affective disorder, seasonal depression, and how spring literally changes everything. And I love spring, and I'm feeling so grateful for spring. And yeah, sunshine is everything. Get your sunshine. I have one of those happy lights. It's actually what I use as my filming light, because it's so freaking bright. But basically it like gives mock UV rays, so it gives you actual sunshine in the comfort of your own home, in your own room. And I actually really like it. I feel like it helps. But also, like, later on, I'm going on a walk with my friends while the sun is still out, and gonna get that sunshine, vitamin D, that serotonin boost. And moving your body is also really good for your serotonin boost as well. So I encourage you, if you're watching this at night, to make it a goal to do something like that for yourself in the morning. Tomorrow morning, if you're watching this in the morning, to make it a goal to do something like that by the end of the day. And if you're watching this in the afternoon and you're feeling indecisive and conflicted, I inspire you to do something like that. Get some kind of productive sunshine outdoor accomplishment, maybe doing your homework outside, or making coffee and just sitting outside, or whatever. I inspire you to do it in the next 24 hours, like a challenge. Fun little challenge. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching or listening to my podcast. This is I Fear I Have Thoughts. I am your host, Lilly Tavarez. I forgot to introduce myself in the beginning, but that's okay. It doesn't matter who I am. It just matters about the conversation that we had today. And I hope that you could take away something productive from this chat. And yeah, make sure to subscribe if you are down. If you liked my video, that would be pretty awesome, and I would appreciate that a lot. And I'm cringing myself out now, so I GTG. But I appreciate you guys so much, and I hope that you have the best day ever, because you deserve it. And I will talk to you guys soon for another episode of I Fear I Have Thoughts. And yeah, make sure to subscribe if you are a fellow overthinker who likes to break stuff down. And I just never want anyone to feel alone with this podcast, and I just want this to be a safe space for my viewers. So yeah, I appreciate you guys a lot, and I'll talk to you soon, and I hope you have the best day ever because you deserve it. Bye.